what changed was what was an understanding of the difference between my country and the government. That those were two things that I had to separate in my mind. And that governments composed of men can do very, very bad things, even when they're speaking the language of the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence and the struggle for freedom.
Us veterans have seen this movie before. Faced with a stark future after Tet in 1968, LBJ asked its citizens, join us in a national effort to win the war, to complete the war. After the April insurgency, which was Bush's Tet, this administration asked Americans, stay the course, finish the job. In Vietnam, the failed attempt to finish that job between Tet and our withdrawal in 1973 cost 21,000 additional combat deaths and over 1 million Vietnamese. How many deaths will it cost in Iraq?
Now they're saying it's 1,434 coalition deaths. Oh, geez, and that's gone up. See, they're at 1,288.
Okay, that's interesting that they update every, what is it, every day they do it?
You hardly know. I mean, but now see, CNN, this, you can get a total here, but they don't put anything down until they have a name. November was the deadliest month yet.
Yeah.
Okay, the next highest was April, which was 135. We got 136 in November of 2004.
Okay, so 25 so far, and we're maybe a little over a third of the.
They've been averaging, if they take from the beginning of the war to the end, they've been averaging 10 a week, but that's going up because I'm getting 4 and 5 a day. On the sign, I keep the count, I keep the total wounded. Now it's wounded in action. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of other people that are hurt, like those truck wrecks and stuff like that, that aren't on there. So that's actually wounded in action. That's going to be Purple Heart, combat wounded. I've got names listed through here over and over and over again where I just take my pad and I'll write down the names and what we've got, new names, what we've got right now. They've got everything that the military's released right now, because normally what they'll do is they'll give us something. If they don't have the name, they'll still give the count and they'll say not yet announced. Yeah, I think the numbers are the most important.
Yeah, I do too.
And this hasn't changed. Right back here. They tend to do okay even in the rain. They get a little damp, but they're still legible. And this is my habit is I will every day after I get it up, I just kind of contemplate, and I read every name in my head.
It's too easy to live in a community and not be aware, or at least pretend like you're not aware of what the costs are. The costs here on this day, and this is about a week ago, 1361 U.S. military were dead in Iraq, 10,252 wounded, and total coalition dead 1,505.
I don't think about this. It's not something that I picture or I envision or I even contemplate, but it's in the back of my mind. And I know every day that goes by, that I could, one of those gray sedans could pull up here in front of this house. You know, somebody could get out and come out and tell me the news I don't want to hear.
I just found it hard every day to not think about what if my husband's not here tomorrow. And nobody my age, I mean, we're 21 years old, and when he was over there, we were 19. No married couple who's 19 should have to think about, is my spouse going to be there the next day? Am I going to get a call tomorrow saying something bad has happened to him? So every day, and I'm not kidding, 5 times, or every 5 minutes, some thought would come through my head, and I would just be like, okay, don't want to jinx anything. You know, it's just like every thought that comes through your head, you're like, oh my God, why did I think that? And God, please just keep my husband safe. And every 5 minutes, just praying that please keep my husband safe and bring him home.
Something about these last few weeks of Nick's deployment has compressed everything into this almost unmanageable ball of the sum total of all I've been feeling for the last year. And instead of feeling relief that he's coming home, which I do, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I'm dreading even more these last few weeks. It's almost like I'm saying to myself, oh my God, we've made it this far. We've made it this far, and it's just almost too much to ask for that he's going to make it home okay. I've heard of too many stories of guys that were wounded or killed, you know, the last day they were in Iraq, or, you know, the Black Hawk helicopters, and some of the soldiers were flying out to go home on leave. You know, I haven't let my guard down, and if anything, it's my feelings of dread have intensified.
You go into war not knowing what to expect, but you know people are gonna die, and you know you may have to kill people, and that's something that you try to mentally prepare yourself for. But upon seeing death, upon seeing the victims, the innocent victims and the guilty victims scattered alongside the road together, you drive up through Iraq and you see tanks bombed out, Americans and Iraqi jets strewn all over the ground, and armored vehicles, civilian cars just blown up, and you see that on the side of the road. You see blood on the street from where a body was once, and it starts taking a toll on you after you see it for so long. And then you start seeing people who you know who were killed and who were injured for life. You know, they're missing legs, and they can't hear in one ear, and they're blind, they lose their eye. I mean, this stuff becomes a daily reality for you, and a daily reminder of just how much war has not changed. Whether you're fighting in the 1940s, World War II, or now, the methods of killing have changed, but you're still seeing death daily. You're still reminded of how ugly it is.